Hello there. I'm just gonna wait for people to join in and then we're gonna start the conversation today. Hello everyone. Well, we already have a lot of people already tuned in today. Well, what can I say? I would like to start the conversation from one of my quotes I read from my speaker. And first of all, welcome to Candid with Mehek, episode 16. Well, we've come to episode 16. Long way. My guest today says kindness inspires me. Stories of belief in oneself and not giving up on something inspires me. Humanity inspires me. Wow. I think to some extent the wavelength matches quite a lot. And so today our guest is none other than Dipannita Sharma. Yes, she is my guest today. I'm so excited. She came into limelight after making it to the final five of Miss India in 1998 contest. She also won Miss Photogenic title in the same contest. She's walked the ramp for all the major designers in the country and for international design houses such as Valentino and Fendi in India. She was the worldwide face of the press campaign for Breguet watches and jewelry for 5 years. She is endorsed and being the face of several skincare brands in India such as Garnier, Nivea, Dettol soap. She's also hosted television shows and been a judge in fashion-based reality show MTV Making the Cut and acted in a lead role in the show called Life Nahi Hai Laddu. Before we're waiting for Dipannita to join in. Hello.
Hi, how nice to see you in person.
Yes. Baby, you got to just put your camera a little, yeah, so I can see your face because there's a lot of
Away.
space on the top. Yeah,
Okay, here, better.
that's better, yeah. How do I look?
You always look lovely. Always.
No, don't just say it for the heck of saying it.
No, but
Being
I have been.
honest.
Wait, I'm also coming to better light. I have been seeing you so often, and I see all your lovely pictures, and it makes me so happy and makes me so proud. Really. So
And
beautiful.
today, all this was just half an hour. Uh, Today, all this was just half an hour because I had no time and I had to do a lot of stuff. So this was just
Yeah,
last minute.
but it's okay, but it is just us. I'm also in one. I have been honestly been in Gurgaon since before the lockdown, and I came here with one small suitcase, and I only have those 3 to 4 pieces of clothing which I keep circulating. That's it. I don't have anything else
Maybe
here.
you
So
Maybe the world has seen the flamby side of you. The world hasn't seen the flamby side of me. And being a host, you have to be a little more presentable. So, and because you were coming on the show, I wanted to make sure I look, pretty and dainty.
you look great. You must scream just to see you. You look great. You really do, and I feel really figured the makeup and
Can you
everything
hear me,
out.
Dipanita?
Amazing.
I think
I
there's
can hear
net.
you.
Net.
I can hear you. I
Okay.
can hear you. Yeah. No, and you
Okay.
look great because you figured your makeup and everything out. Very nice. Very nice.
All YouTube, darling. All YouTube.
Yeah, I know. That's a
When
great
I
learning phase.
started, I had done blunders. So I'm glad I'm in a very good space right now.
Oh, that we all have. Yes, yes.
Well, I've already given a brief introduction about you to my audience, Dipannita. Well, I would like to welcome you to my show
Thank,
formally. And thank you
thank,
so very much for accepting this invitation for me.
thank
You're
you.
my,
Oh, that's my friend Tushar. Tushar is also, he's made that beautiful film called Saving Chintu, which
oh
I
yeah, I
saw.
was, we're
Yes,
going to
so
talk
he's my
about
friend.
that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. Well, this is an initiative which I've taken. It's a non-profit event, and the motive of this conversation is to showcase the inspiring stories and journeys from members of LGBTQIA plus community. Um, you come in the ally path. I believe this initiative will help foster. That's what I'm trying to help better understanding amongst people and help dispel some misconception and stereotypes if we can break some.
Yep.
So I've already given a brief introduction, but there's something which I read about you and I that really touched my heart is that whenever you've chosen any work, whether it's been your ads or whether it's been your film or series, you've always chosen something which is within the boundaries of your moral fabric, and they often reflect on your social conscience.
Thank you.
And that actually shows on the series of work you've done in your career. Once you shifted your base from modeling to acting. Um, so, as you always say in most of your interviews, that your modeling has been your first love. Tell us about, just not a lot, but just tell us briefly about how it started and just tell us about your career.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now you're
Yeah.
back. Yeah, in between I lost you. So first of all, thank you. It is great to be here with you. I'm just going to say hello to everyone and hi Rashmi. I saw you, but I didn't want to interrupt Mehak. And Tushar and everyone else. I'm so glad you said that my work reflects the moral fabric that I work with. Um, I think it is about how you feel from inside or how you feel about things, and you just go about doing your stuff organically as much as possible. And if somewhere it reflects in your work, then I feel validated that, whatever I've been working for, it is finally showing. When I began, of course, modeling is very close to my heart, continues to be close to my heart, even though I might not be working as a sort of regular model, so to say,
Mm.
because I act more now and I do showstoppers now. But when I began, I was this small town girl. I had come from Assam, and I was a Delhi University student. I was in Indraprastha, and I was in the fashion show team in college actually. So that's how everyone started saying that. Oh, I think we think you should take it up as a profession and stuff. And I used to think, wow, really? Like college fashion show team is all right, but I'm not sure if I can do it, you know, professionally. But I think the seed was sowed in the head at that time, and I started modeling a little bit. I went for auditions for some big designers. I got selected, and then the Miss India thing happened.
Yeah.
So I think that's what sort of kick-started my career, because I made it to the top five. And I was a judge, Miss Photogenic, and Miss Photogenic title at that time held a lot of importance. Like, if a girl won the Miss Photogenic contest, then she was automatically signed up by skincare,
Oh, wow.
company, or you started getting ads because you're sort of the next face to,
Mm.
look for. So an international skincare company signed me on. I was the face for Garnier for about 4 to 5 years at that time, which was a big deal because Garnier had just come to India, I think.
Mm.
So that catapulted my move to Mumbai, because until then I was still in Delhi and I finished my graduation. So it was like, okay, it's a good time. Let me just move. So then I came to Mumbai. I took up a paying guest, which is what you did at that time.
Yeah.
I had a room with a family actually, and
Mm.
like a separate room. Yeah. Oh my God, the food in that PG I'll never forget. It was so spicy, and the auntie, she was sweet otherwise, but she was non-accommodating. She
Okay.
like I can't eat spicy food, and she'd be like, okay, this is what is cooked. You want to eat, eat. Otherwise, I can't do anything. So I spent
Um,
days eating burgers, which was so unhealthy. And
yeah.
imagine I am in the profession that I'm in,
Way
and
too
because that
mental.
was right, yeah, and that was the quickest food I would get. So I would keep eating those burgers, and that really told on my health. And then eventually I moved out of there. We found an apartment. It was me, my sister, and Bapasha. We became roommates. And then finally we had food that was cooked properly. So, I mean, now when I reminisce and I think about those days, it was fun. Whatever said and done, it was fun. And I think when you are at that age, you want to fight it. You know you want to go through everything that you're going through, but it makes you stronger. That is the phase
Exactly.
when, right, that is the phase when your strength grows actually, and you must always concentrate on that. So for
Because
me,
that work makes you the person what you are today.
I so agree with you, because it just builds up, and the layers sort of make you the person you are today. And yeah, so I have a lot of those great memories. Yeah, I continued my ramp work and my ad film work, and Mumbai actually opened up the ad film world for me. Delhi is a lot more fashion. Mumbai
Hmm.
is both. Mumbai is a parallel world of fashion and ad films and magazine and editorial work. So I was sort of juggling all of it at that time, and until the first film offers film offers started coming in, and I honestly in the beginning I wasn't sure if I wanted to do films, and for a long time I stalled it. And when I think 16 December came by, it just sounded like a very different film. So I said, okay, let me go for the audition. And I
Dipannita,
think going into
I'm gonna stop you there because I'm gonna come to your movie career a little later. So we're not
okay,
just gonna talk about that here.
okay,
Now,
okay.
as you said,
Yes, Kumar is here.
from a
Kumar is
participant.
reminding us of Dettol soap ad. Yes, Kumar remembers the Dettol soap ad because he did my makeup for it, right? Yes, thank you.
From a participant to a mentor in Femina Miss India in 2017, where you mentored the East Zone, you've come like a full circle. Um, how does it feel? Like, what was the feeling like?
This is such a good question because you're right. Life does come a full circle that way, and I think representing the East was a moment of pride for me, actually, more than
Mm,
when they said,
yeah.
we want you to be a mentor in Miss India. And I said, okay. And then they turned around and said, we want you to represent the East and select the girls from the East. You will be
Mm,
basically the mentor for the East Zone girls. And that, I think, for me was a huge moment of pride in 2017. The fact that the East Zone was a really large zone. All the other zones had, I think, girls which were between 8 to 10. I had 13 girls, you know, because the East Zone is a large zone. It consists of
yeah.
Bengal and Assam and the Northeastern, Jharkhand and Bihar and all of it. So for me, I really enjoyed the process, and I'm so thankful that I could give back to a platform which sort of gave me so much when I earlier went as a contestant. So it was quite heartwarming to see what the girls are going through, today, you know, and the competition level has gone to sort of a different
Yeah.
space, you know. So it's sort of heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. Like because when we went, you know, for the contest, we became such good friends. Today, we actually have a WhatsApp group of the 1998 batch of girls.
Still. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yeah. So we are in touch, and everyone's in some different countries and all, but we are this. You know, we still bond. You know what I'm saying? Like Diandra is a really close friend of mine. You know, Diandra and me went to the same We were also roommates in the same contest, actually. But I remember in Kolkata when the first, for the mentoring I'm talking about in
Hmm.
2017, when the first, you know, cutting down of the girls happened, when the first selection of the final girls from the East Zone happened.
Where in
Oh
Kolkata
my
it happened,
God.
Dipannita?
Sorry?
Where in Kolkata? Where in Kolkata did this happen?
I think it was at Shonar Bangla, if I am not
Acha.
mistaken. So that was the
Mm-hmm.
first, you know, the first batch when you sort of, you know, narrow down on the girls,
You're
and
just
then those
eliminating,
final,
yeah.
yeah, and then finally those girls will come to Mumbai for like the final contest, right? So that happened in every zone. So I was of course called for the East Zone thing, and I went there, and when the narrowing down happened and I went to meet these girls backstage, I'm not joking, I think started crying because I don't want the girls to go through so much pain. And I wish the girls of today, the youth, yes, there is competition. We had our competition as well. But I wish they looked at it like a journey, like something that they have learned. It's not just about we didn't get selected in those top 5, or you know, in those top 13, or whatever it is. You know, you have reached a certain place. You are all beautiful, and you from here, like I didn't win Miss India. You know what I'm saying? I didn't win Miss India. I won Miss Photogenic. I reached the top 5. I placed 4th, and I was not sent for any international contests. But the experience that you get out of there, you
Yeah.
have to use that opportunity in a positive manner. You must take the positive out of something. It's not about the fact that, oh, I have lost. I tell you, Mehek, when I went backstage, I hugged each one of them and I said, please don't do this to yourself. It is all right. I get it. It's a contest, but it is all right because y'all will, from here is your journey actually starts from here.
Start.
What you do, you know, after this. So a contest is a contest, you know, next year there'll be another one. You know what I'm saying? So
And they can't make
these are,
everybody winners. There has to be like 3 winners. So somebody has to lose in a contest.
yes, and the fact that you've been provided with this platform in whichever way, whichever stage you reach, I think it's an opportunity and you
You
must
said.
use it positively. That's it. Yeah.
Well, you said it so well, I think, I've been in that zone as well when I participated in Calcutta and Gladrag's Mega Model and Manhunt, the year Koina won. So I was there
Ah,
from the
you were the same year as Koina. Wow. Okay.
so
Right.
the
Yeah,
year
yeah.
the year Koina and Rajiv won, I was representing from Calcutta. So Maureen had selected me, and I was there in the final show where they were eliminating the people from the Calcutta zone. But then again, as
Right.
I said, though I looked very attractive, but we were going to talk about that a little later. And I was cut
Okay.
off right from the first introduction round. Okay, now there's something which I don't agree with, and that's why I'm asking you this question. That India, there has been a lot of conversation. Generally when boys look out for girls, I need a fair girl, or when the parents look out for a daughter-in-law, I need a fair daughter-in-law, or vice versa with men as well. Well, you have been faced for some beauty brands. And some of these beauty brand, show this transition where, a girl is like, very dusky skin, and then in 7 days she turns out to be this beautiful, fair lady, and everything changes. So, what do you have to say about that? Because you endorse some beauty brands. What's your thought on that?
So I have been the biggest advocate of this and been against fairness creams and this, turning something from something to someone from the beginning. When I was called for an audition for one of the fairness brands right in the beginning of my career, I refused to do it. And I think the agency was quite upset because they thought, we are such a big brand. Who are you to refuse us? So I said,
Mm,
no, sir, I am a nobody. But this is just conceptually something I don't agree with, you know
yeah.
like today, honestly, I mean, for skincare, I do my own skincare. I do it. I use my coconut oil, and I have been, I also use maybe creams which are going to keep you useful. But it is never about color. It is never. That is
Mm,
the wrongest concept you can sell. I will never be a face for something that is propagating some color is better than the other. No, we as a country, I don't know how we can believe in a concept like that, because we as a country are, it's so diverse, and we have
exactly.
every kind of skin color. I mean, if
Exactly.
we, right, and if we as people who can make a little bit of a difference, all of us can make a difference. If we don't take that stand, then who will? I mean, it is just selling wrong dreams, and it's just a money making racket. Recently, I think a brand has dropped its one of the part of its name, like Fair and Lovely has dropped its Fair. Okay, it is probably a lot of people are saying that it is just to show, but the cream is not changing. But I'm saying that it is still something that we should be happy about.
No,
That
we should be.
somewhere, yeah, somewhere we have won the fight. That today that brand has got, in fact, a bad name because they use fair as one of the
Because
words,
see,
and they
the
have had to
change cannot
follow
just
it.
happen. Change cannot just happen in a go. It is a
No, no, no.
progression. So if
Yes.
somebody is doing something, I think we should be appreciated of the fact. And the reason I
Absolutely.
asked you this question is because at a level of position you are in your career at the moment, because I think, when you start out, you don't have so much of say. But when you reach a
Yeah.
certain phase in your career where you can choose what the work you want to
Yeah.
do, is that the
Yeah.
reason I ask you this question?
Yeah, which is why I have chosen my work from the beginning of my career. And today, even when a skincare brand comes to me, the skincare that I have either endorsed or been the face of, or the product, it will be about useful skin. It would probably be about improving the quality of your skin, which we all believe in. I believe in the fact that you must take care of your skin, but it has nothing to do with the color. Never ever with the color of the skin. You don't talk about improving color of your skin. No, color of skin is perfect. Everybody's skin
Exactly.
is amazing the way it is, the color of the skin.
You
Yes,
just
you
need
improve
to
a
take
little.
care of it.
Yes, you just take care of the kind of skin you have. That's it. The quality of the skin is more important than, actually, the quality of the skin is most important, and quality does not equal color of the skin.
I'm so glad that you advocate with this thought process, because I think there are a lot of people, because of these brands because the media is a very important platform.
Very.
Most of the time and especially now, we have access to so much. We have so much of information available that this can
Yeah.
pass on a lot of incorrect information to a lot of people around, and that's the reason I wanted to bring that up. Thank you very much indeed
Yes.
for sharing your thoughts. And coming
No,
back
I'm
to,
glad.
uh,
This is the cause very close to my heart. I'm glad you asked me this. Yeah.
no, the reason why I was little worried about asking you is because I've already been in two controversy in past of my two interviews, because see, I don't like sugarcoating questions. I
Oh,
like
no,
cutthroat
absolutely
questions
not.
and reality, and that's how it's supposed to be. You can't just fabricate everything. You got to be
Yeah.
real sometimes and have to have real conversations.
No, you can't. Absolutely. So glad.
I'm so happy, you can't believe I'm like exhilarating with happiness right now. It's not showing on my face, but you've made my
Shows your
day.
face. I'm so happy.
Well,
So happy.
Moving on, I would like to know what's your understanding about the whole LGBTQIA plus spectrum. How much, what do you know about LGBTQIA plus? Do you know the whole
Okay.
what the spectrum stands for, or you have any doubts which you probably think
So I
I should
think
answer?
for me, so this is what it is. I have always believed that for me, people are people. Okay. Each
Humans.
one of us is different. We today sit and think that okay, it is our community and it is us and them. No, it's a power of we. If we don't have, I spoke about this today earlier also for another
Mm.
like a cause that we had spoken about. If there is no power of we, there is really no point of us as humanity. So I'm saying about LGBTQIA plus today, I think I have much more knowledge than I had when I had started modeling. At that time, I think it was one kind. It was, you thought, okay, they're straight and gay. You didn't know so much more. Over time, I'm so glad that I've been surrounded by people, and this is really thanks to somewhere the fashion industry, and a lot of people that I have met over time, that my spectrum has broadened, that over time I have stood for causes related to the community. And for me, it is not something that I'm doing special. It is something that means humanity to me, you know.
Mm.
And for me, yeah, for me, it is we are inclusive, we are one. And I always keep saying it that for a lot of people, when I see around, say, people who are older than us, they're people the same age as us. I always say this that we might not always understand another person. We might not understand, but acceptance is important. That
Exactly.
yes, somebody is different, somebody has different choices. We have to accept that. Otherwise, how are we human? How are we? You know. So for me,
And
that is what has
and we are
been
humans,
very
and
important.
we are humans first. Like the gender and everything comes later. And for any parent, even when the
Yes,
child is even pay for any parents when a child is born, you know you don't think of what gender would the person identify as. And sometimes I feel
yes,
so badly. And you celebrate so much the child is born, and later on if the child identify as a different gender, does your love as a mother for that child goes away? It sometimes bothers me quite a lot.
yes, and that is a correct thing to be bothered with, because how has your love suddenly become so conditional? Because you did love
Exactly.
this child unconditionally, right? And why have you decided that this is about pride, and this is about the child not respecting you? No, it has nothing to do with that. Your child is an individual and has the right to become an individual and has the right to exercise his or her choices. So that I feel is something that even I think modern day parents somewhere probably are looking at a broader spectrum. And I think today the fact that you and me sit and talk about this itself, I think shows progression in some way. And yes, maybe it's going to take some more time. Tomorrow is a very historical day for us, isn't it?
We're going to talk
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
Um, and you've taken quite a lot of projects when you moved. You shifted from your modeling to your acting career, wherein you did movie where My Brother Nikhil, which has a very beautiful, which has showed a very beautiful crafted relationship between gay men, and also spoke about HIV. And then you did a small movie, Saving Chintu, on the backdrop of LGBTQ. What I wanted to ask you is that do you choose these subjects for a reason, or does it comes to you naturally? And what do you aim to achieve by when you choose such subjects? Because I don't see a lot of
Okay.
people doing it. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, when I signed My Brother Nikhil, and it is such a project of pride for me, when today everyone, tells me that we are so happy you're part of that project. I actually had sort of a special appearance in the film, but for me,
Mm.
taking up that project was very important. I liked the script a lot. I liked the director. I liked the way he thought. And always, I felt when My Brother Nikhil came to me, okay, this is going to be a path breaking film. And I need to be a part of this. And it lived up to all our expectations. It broke records. Even today, the
Exactly.
world speaks about
I
it,
mean, I couldn't believe when I was watching the movie, like, is that really showing on Hindi cinema screen? I couldn't believe it myself the first time I saw.
Yes, and I'm so glad I took that instinctive decision because it is hugely paid off even as an actor, because you're put in a different category. There is a different sort of respect, and also the fact that that film was unprecedented. We didn't have a film like that before, and it was about time something like that was addressed, and beautifully. Amazing filmmaking, amazing actors. I got to work with this great team. So everything, I think, for My Brother Nikhil fell into place, and we got to tell a story which was asking and pleading to be told, which is so
Mm.
important. So important. What a great representation of a country, actually, I feel, that
Very
film.
well done.
Yes.
And then saving Chintu, how did that happen?
So again, saving children, I think because I've also been very vocal in my support for inclusivity, somewhere
Oh,
maybe,
thank you.
yeah, no,
Thank
I am,
you. No, I'm honestly telling you,
thank
Dipannita, because there are very few people like you, and I would not shy by saying that I did approach a lot of people, but not that everybody agreed to it. And when I asked Kumar, and then Kumar said, "Okay, I know Dipannita, let me have a word." I send you a message, and I used to literally wait. Okay, I used to be on my DM
so,
on your page, and I was used to wait for your reply. Oh, she's going to reply. She's going to reply. And when you replied, I jumped out of joy. The reason I jumped out of
so
joy
sweet.
is um, because for the longest time I feel that people have to talk about it. Means if you don't talk about it,
Yeah.
um, it's to some way you're
Yeah.
not living your morale. Sorry to cut you there, but yes, go ahead. You're
Yeah,
saving
no,
Chintu.
no, but I agree with you, and I'm glad we are doing this today. And because I think of my belief and true belief in that, I think probably Tushar must have also seen, or Tushar was, recommended, my name for a particular character in that film because Saving Chintu is a beautiful film which is it advocates the inclusivity thing with these amazing layers that you would have probably never seen in a film that has come out of India. And I'm saying this very honestly, not I don't speak so big about my projects all the time, but this is actually a short film. It is not even going to be
Yeah.
released in theaters. It's going to, but a lot of big festivals have been showing it, and it's been getting a lot of accolades. We have actors from LA and India. There is Adilda, there is me, there is Edward, Sachin Bhatt, and it's actually um, it's actually a passion project. It's something that Tushar himself feels. It's
Mhm.
That's why it's a story told from the heart. It's
Yeah.
written that way. So when you see the narrative, you feel it. You feel every frame,
It
which I think,
transcends.
yes, which is what I think touched me so much, and I think touching the world over right now, which is why it's been selected in one great film festival after the other. We were selected for two Oscar qualifying film festivals, and 4 or 5 more are coming up. So yeah, another project I'm very proud of, and I think everyone must see the film to see. It's a struggle of a gay couple in the 1980s to adopt a child who is
Where
suffering
is
from
it? Where is
HIV.
it available for people to see if they want to see? Is it available on YouTube or where is it available?
So no, so we haven't released it, and the producers want to first send it to all the festivals, and
Okay,
only
and
after
then
that
release
will
it.
it be. Yeah, but in the festivals they have virtual viewing right now, because during this time all the festivals are virtual. So whenever a festival is upcoming, I always post. So if people keep an eye on that on our post, then they'll be able to see the link and watch the film.
So, guys, if you do want to watch Saving Chintu, please keep a watch out on Dipannita's handle. She will post it whenever it's showing in any of the festivals, and I would love to watch it. Can't wait.
I'd love that. I'd love
Okay,
that.
looking at the set of work you've done, which talks about the LGBTQIA spectrum in a very positive platform. To some extent, there are works which has been done on the LGBTQIA plus spectrum, which has not been on the positive side, and I, to some extent, have been. I feel that, rather than highlighting in a positive aspect, it's been made a mockery out of it. So there was a recent release which was Shubh Mangal Shraddhan. I'm not sure if you've seen or if you heard about it, which was based on a relationship between two gay men and how one of the leads, played by Arishman Khurana, wins the hearts of the family and his partner. Have you heard about the movie?
I
Okay.
have. I've also watched it in bits and pieces, not
Oh,
really.
so what I want to know is that do you think the director did justice to what LGBTQIA plus stands for, and what's your thoughts?
Okay,
I'm not
I
putting you on
think
a platform. If
no,
you,
no, no. I think okay, intent I think was correct when they must have started writing the script,
hmm,
to be able to address something as on a commercial platform, which has not been done before. Right, to address a gay relationship on, say, a big sort of a fun commercial platform with well-known actors, big actors. Huh? So I think that was the intent, but somewhere they couldn't forget pushing the envelope. I don't think they could address anything at all at the end of it. So I think because I felt everything that came together was awkward in that film. you
hmm,
know like if you watch a My Brother Nikhil, maybe people looked at it like a parallel cinema, but My Brother Nikhil didn't show anything. It's not about two men kissing or something like that, but you felt everything. You felt
hmm,
everything in that film. So I
all the
feel the
emotions.
yeah, so I think the feeling, the reality of the whole situation was missing in this film. But I think intent was correct, and maybe they wanted to present it in an entertaining manner, but it sort of didn't quite hit the spot. Yeah.
So I just feel that, whenever what I feel all the time is that there are a lot of times where I've seen their movies being made where they cast people to play characters, from the LGBTQIA spectrum, wherein we do have actors who identify themselves as one from the LGBTQIA spectrum. So why didn't you think they cast the people who can portray the emotions, more authentically than casting somebody who would just play the character?
So I feel that comes from the fact that someone is more saleable. I think that's where it comes from. For producers, I think it's the money they're putting into it. That's all they are mostly concerned about, right? So this is the controversy which had even happened with when Mary Com happened, right? When they made a film on Mary Com, there was a lot of people asking this, that why didn't you cast someone from the Northeast who could have understood the culture better? Again,
Hmm.
it comes to, if you're making a film on a big scale, then the star power matters. And Priyanka brought that star power even though she was not from the Northeast. So these, I think, dichotomies will always remain. I think only abroad, I feel, say, even they have their issues, but in Hollywood, at least people have this thing of taking a risk. A studio is more powerful.
Mm.
The studio takes the decision that we are going to cast someone authentic for this. So if someone has to play British, they will cast a British actor. If you're from a certain region of US and you need to speak in that accent, they will cast an actor from that region. So they will do the auditions and they will cast accordingly. Here, I think it works a little differently, and it just has been like that for a while. Although I have to say, if you look at it, someone like Ayushman actually started as a complete newbie and he did really well. That film had no stars. He himself was a non-star. Now, today, I think he has made a name for himself in that independence, smaller films. So I think that's what happens a lot of times when you're thinking of money and commerce and, you know, what you're putting into the project. Apart from that, I think indie films and all, they have a little more independence. So that's why they call independent films. That they want to cast good actors. They want to cast authentic. So that is one parallel track also which carries on. So I think we'll just have to continue on that parallel track, and someday it will all merge, and
Hope
someday it
so.
will all merge. Yes,
I really hope so.
yes,
Okay. Now coming back to fashion again, I'm hip hopping from fashion and modeling. Now,
great,
I feel
great.
fashion as a business showcase talents in very form, be it designer, stylist, makeup artist. But when it comes to casting models, there is not a lot of inclusiveness there in terms of LGBTQIA plus. When it comes to mainstream models on the ramp, be it ads, be it so I would say print. So we will not move to we will not talk about acting here at the moment in series
Yeah,
or movies. I'm just limiting
sure,
to ramp, stills, and commercials,
sure.
where there is one spectrum which is so well expected, but when it comes to
Yeah.
mainstream like models, why there is so much of when we have people, it's not like we don't have people. Why
Mm-hmm.
why there is no inclusivity is what I'm going to ask you. The reason I'm asking you this question is I'll just give you a background. So 8 years back, when I was struggling with my gender and I was called Mitesh at that time, that was my dead name. I call it a dead name because that person doesn't exist anymore.
I get that.
So, and I ventured into modeling to prove my male demeanor to my family because I was an elder child, I come from Marwari family. But though I look very manly in terms of my features and chisel face and all that, but my body language and the way I walk and all, that's something which nobody taught me. It just came naturally to me, like, hand gestures. So I
Yeah.
was boycotted, literally boycotted in terms of like I used to get called for auditions. I used to go there, and then I'm waiting the call from the what do you call the person between the model and the agency, the
You're talking about
the model
coordinators,
coordinator. So I'm not going to get called
coordinators.
from the coordinator, or I'm going for the fittings. I've done the fittings, and then when it comes to the final show, I'll not be called. Even say for the Gladrags Mega Model and Manhunt,
Ah,
I remember they were doing. So they had pre-decided even before the show that I would not be there in the second round because I remember we were doing a sequence where we were wearing Gavin Miguel clothes
ah,
and they were like 15 male models, 15 participants, but they only had 14 outfits.
ah.
So even before the show started, like even 2, 3 days before the show, there were 15 guys, but they only had 14 outfits. They did not have an outfit for me. So they knew it before precedentally
That's
that
very
I would
strange.
not be there in the rounds. So there is where I come from, and because fashion has been so close to me, though I have, but then I went on, did a lot of work after that. I did for Borderlin, Billa Linen, Bengal and Bhuja. My hosing used to be around in Calcutta. But the
Right.
satisfaction was not there because that was just a cover up because for me I was always a female. Now when I've come to a time where I'm not sure do it, if I may cut the bill sometime, cut the bill sometimes, and if I have to probably want to do something, in mainstream modeling, I just feel a little scared in trying out because I'm not sure if the biasness still exists or has that changed.
So here's the thing. I am not sure how, I don't think we are yet close to Europe or England or the US when it comes to being inclusive on the ramp and fashion and modeling. I don't think we have reached that stage yet. But yes, we are better than what we were. We are better than what we were many years ago. At that time, nobody on the ramp, I think, was even if we knew that there was a there was someone who was gay, or there was someone who you know preferred their preference
You would
was
just
not
shun
straight.
that person
Yeah,
off,
yeah, everything,
shun that
yeah,
person.
shun, or they had to be quiet about it. They had to not talk about it. They would not accept it. So we know that. And today, I think today you told me that there is only one girl who, she's a Nepalese girl, and
Anjali
she
Lama.
yes, and she is transgender. I think that's a very big change, and I think that is a very big acceptance, and I think that's great. And I think slowly, uh, uh, more will happen, and I think it's a slow progression maybe, but it will. I have a lot of faith that it will happen. And if you ask me, I want to see all kinds of models on the ramp, very honestly. I don't want to see one kind. I don't want to see one body type. I don't
And
want
that
to
is
see.
modeling, and that is what modeling is all about, right? Modeling, especially, I think, is cut out for people, look different. You cannot just have always
Absolutely.
beautiful faces. Like if you look at West
Yeah,
countries look for models who are like not just the beauty face, they look more beyond that. And
absolutely,
which where in
absolutely.
India,
We
we're still not there.
Right. I also feel that, see, somewhere society is a mirror of, fashion and films, and fashion and films is a mirror of the society. It's like a two-way street, right? So as we are progressing as a society, or as fashion is progressing, these changes you are going to see, because it is the need of the hour. It is going to happen organically, and it is happening, which I think is a great moment of pride, I think, for all of us, as it should be. I think this is how I see us going forward. Inclusivity is the only way
Well,
to go forward in
to some
every which
extent,
way.
I would. Yeah, I said I would not want to cut you out there, but to some extent, I would disagree with you on that because um, um, the progression has been very slow, Dipannita. It doesn't take
Yeah,
so long. It's
correct.
been either, people just don't want, LGBTQIA plus represent. See, I understand that, it's a cutthroat competition. It's not like, okay, just because I'm transgender, you take me for the show. I means you fit the bill. You've got everything. You've got the body, you've got the attitude, you've got whatever a model needs. But then still, when you go for casting and you are not casted, is where my question is, and I don't know why does that happen? Because I know a lot of friends of mine who are, who've been to Miss Trans Queen India last year, this year. They're
Yes.
tall,
Yeah.
Nisha, Neetu, they're doing so well. But then they don't get work. There's a lot of bias.
Of
So
course,
hope
there's
that
bias, and
changes.
yes, and there is a lot of discrimination still, and you're absolutely right about that. I'm saying here, can you see me? Huh. My phone's going to fall. 1 second. I'm saying today we are still discriminating on the basis of color. So discriminations are on various levels. What I think I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to see is that whether it is, yes, and some departments I think it is very, very slow. But we have to keep at it and we have to keep going for it. And the fact that once again you and me sit and talk and discuss this today itself, I feel, in whatever little way, progression. And I know how hard it is, and which is why I keep saying how proud I am of you. If today you have a corporate job and you sit here with me and you've accepted yourself the way you are and you're proud the way you are, and this pride, I think, is what takes everyone ahead, and makes us better as human race, to be inclusive and accepting.
Okay. I'll take your note on that, and I hope things change because it's high time. And as we were talking earlier today,
Yes.
377 was legalized 2 years back, and a lot of brands that time, came out and they spoke about inclusiveness, um, and a lot of things were seen, like designers were doing a lot when it comes to the fashion. But that, I think that was momentarily. Tomorrow we will complete 2 years for that historic judgment. Any words on
Mm.
that?
So I think I was going to mention it before and spill the beans since you had told me. It is historic and it is amazing, and I think it is so welcome. And again, this is progression. This had to happen. And you made it happen. You are part of that fight. And which is why I keep saying that we continue to do this. And you lost me.
Yeah, yeah,
Wait, I think there's something wrong with my phone, so I'm going to just hold it in my hand now.
yeah, yeah,
So,
sure.
no, I was saying that it is so welcome what's happening tomorrow. And this is why I say you are part of this movement. You have made this happen. You have brought this to a historic judgment. So I'm saying that this is progression. Imagine in our country where we have had layers of discrimination. It's not like the rest of the world hasn't gone through it. They have as well. But we have, of course, we've also, as a developing country, we have developed a little later. So things have happened to us a little later. Also, there are so many, our history has so many layers to it, the diversity, the cultural, you know, identities, everything adds to, I think, what we have been. But tomorrow we have that judgment coming in, and which, I mean, it cannot be a happier day for us as a country, for us as humanity, for you and me. So I think you should be very proud that someone like you have brought us to this and made everyone, each one of us in the country, realize how important it is to be inclusive.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you.
Really.
Now, with the kind of work you're doing, I know you're doing your modeling where you're doing showstoppers and movie, but in time the line, if um, you do something of your own, wherein you're casting, will you cast models who identify as queer, gay, or transgenders?
I absolutely will. Only if I get that opportunity, and there would be no one happier than me. I so would. And you will be my showstopper.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now, thank you. Now, hailing from Assam, and it's very close to you, I understand you're deeply proud of your roots. Your Assamese language feature, I couldn't spell that in Assamese, so it was called Rainbow Fields.
Yes,
Won it won you the Best Actress Award in LIFF
yes,
in 2018 in LA.
yes.
What were you feeling? How was it like?
So, but this was my first Assamese feature film, and that it ended up being so rewarding, and that I could do that for my state, for the place that I come from. I think, yeah, fills my heart with pride. I did not expect that I was going to win the Best Actress Award in an international film festival for my first ever Assamese feature film, but I'm very, very grateful that I could, and that I could play a character that nobody had ever seen me in, and play it well. There were people who had come on set to meet me and they left because they thought they saw me and they thought it was someone else. because
Okay.
and which yeah, so because that I said, okay, that I think itself is a reward, that you are so unrecognizable. Because yeah, if you say glamour, forget G of glamour, I was mine as glamour, and that is what my director made me, and I'm very thankful for it, actually. And I'm one of the projects I'll always be so proud of. So proud. It's called Foi Khobote Hemalite Rainbow Fields. Yes.
Congratulations, Dipanta.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
we don't have a lot of time, but
Yeah.
in on the LGBTQ spectrum, we offer support to young people who could do with someone to talk to about gender-related bullying and other gender-related issues. Do you have any
Hmm.
word of encouragement for someone who might be struggling at the moment to come out?
I think anyone who's struggling at the moment to come out, I understand how you're feeling. And I think more than them, I would like to tell the people around them to make them feel comfortable. Because the fear arises from the fact that you're not going to be able to tell people because your own parents or your own family is not going to accept you. So I think I would encourage parents and people in the family to create an environment of inclusivity at home, so that when someone, I know families like this, so when the daughters come out, they have not at all been, I mean, there's been no issue at all. So I'm saying, I think families like that are lucky. The children of those families are lucky. Not everyone, is like that. But I really want to encourage families to, as a family, to be, to encourage an atmosphere of inclusivity, and then your child will never ever have that problem. Your child will feel so confident. I mean, I
Exactly.
yes, and this is for every aspect in life. I always say, when people used to tell me, so when you decide to become a model, because nobody from Assam had come at that time and everything, and then they'd say, how did you feel? What did your parents say? I said, no, my biggest strength were my parents. My biggest strength. And my dad was a doctor, and when my mother was a little worried, my dad said, if you're worried about, how the world is and all of that, let me tell you, I have seen enough even in medical college. So it's not about the profession she is joining. It's about how she is as a person. And I have faith in her as an individual. That gave me so much strength. And this is what I think
Exactly.
every parent must tell their child, whatever you do, I'm with you. I'm so proud of you for whoever and whatever you are. That's all that a parent
Thank
needs to
you.
do. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Dipannita. Now, we don't have a lot of time, but I would just like to know what's next for Dipannita. So, what we gonna see from Dipannita next?
Okay, so Saving Chintu is something that's been doing the rounds of festivals. We've been in lockdown, so we have not shot anything. But but there's another short film which I did for German and India collaboration, which is also going, which is encouraging female entrepreneurs. That is one fiction I've done. Then I've lent my voice for an animation character for the first time, again, which is on female entrepreneurs, and I play a girl from Assam. who's interested in starting her own business. So that is one other, short film. And there is one other film that I shot during lockdown at home. A beautiful short film, and I think something that will make an impact. Um, and currently, I'm reading one script, which the digital platform wants to shoot by taking the whole unit to a remote place where we don't have any coronavirus cases, and where we follow, the social distancing protocol. And we are going to be a very small unit, so that is something also I'll talk about once I've shot for it, because right now everything is so, oh, is it going to happen or is it not? And I had completed a feature film before the short film. It was a thriller with Tushar Kapoor Productions. So let's see
Okay.
how that turns out. Yeah.
Okay. All the best. Where thank you so very much, Dipannita, once again for coming on my show. And as I said, whenever I speak to people, I always look for a human connect, and I could I said I always look for a human connect, and I found this connect with you. And so I don't want this conversation just to be for today. We would certainly stay in touch. And if there's any time in the future where you think, I can lend my voice to, or wherever, if you think any project you do, and if you think I fit in, I will always be happy to be on board and just a call away.
Thank
Any
you.
word of advice for me before you go?
Before we go, I want a screenshot with you. Firstly, please smile. बाद में all the comments are on my face, but it's okay. It's great. Okay, I'm going to take one more. Word of advice for you? No, I think I have learned a lot from you today. So thank you. And very, very proud of you and very happy
Thank
for you.
you.
And congratulations for tomorrow. Great
Thank you.
historic day for all of us. Yes.
Yes. Well, you take care of yourself, and we shall stay in touch. All the best. Stay home. Say hi to your hubby. Love to your family, to your nephew, to your sister. And
Yes.
well, that's all from my end. Guys, that's Dipannita for us today. You can follow our handle, that's on the top, and keep and watch out of the work, what she's doing. This is your Mehek, your host, signing out for today. We'll see you tomorrow yet again with another guest. Until then, take care, take care, ciao, bye now. Mwah. God
Thank
bless
you.
you.
Bye. Love you all.
Love
Thank you.
you. Bye.